within ODM, particularly over the party's posture toward cooperation with President William Ruto's administration, and signaled a broader generational and directional struggle within one of Kenya's most influential political movements. His ouster has since been viewed as a pivotal moment with far-reaching implications not only for the future cohesion and competitiveness of ODM, but also for Sifuna's own political trajectory as he navigates the shifting terrain of opposition politics ahead of the 2027 general election. This man, Edwin Sifuna. Edwin Sifuna was born on May 22nd, 1982 in Mumias in Western Kenya. Raised in a modest family, his father worked as a civil servant and his mother as a teacher. He grew up with a strong emphasis on education and public service. It belongs to the Luhya community, which has deep political roots in Kenya's multi-party era. He attended Kakamega Township Primary School and Musingu High School, later earning a Bachelor of Law, and this is LLB from the University of Nairobi and a postgraduate diploma from the Kenya School of Law. After qualifying, he practiced as an advocate and built a reputation in constitutional and public interest litigation before fully transitioning into politics. Now, before becoming a nationally prominent politician, Sifuna worked in a legal practice and also engaged in political advisory roles for opposition coalitions such as CORD and NASA in the 2010s, which were precursors to the present Azimio coalition. Now, Sifuna formally joined ODM's inner leadership in 2018 when he was appointed Secretary General of the Orange Democratic Movement, replacing Babu Namwamba. This made him the party's top top administrative official responsible for its organizational strength, strategic coordination, national deployment, and election readiness. As Secretary General, his role was more than organizational. In practice, he became one of the party's most public, vocal, and divining voices, often articulating policy, framing opposition positions, and defending party principles. His legal training made him a polished public communicator. Depth and high-stakes debates over governance, constitutional issues, and national policy. Now, we're looking in the 2022 general election. Sifuna contested and won the Nairobi senatorial seat on an ODM ticket, one of the most high-profile legislative positions in the country. His election was both a personal victory and a signifier that ODM was embracing generational leadership beyond its long-time leader, Raila Odinga. Shortly after his win, he was also appointed deputy minority whip in the Senate, reinforcing his role in opposition leadership and the national levels. Sifuna's political identity came to be defined by a blend of opposition zeal, party loyalty, and legalistic defense of democratic norms. He became a leading critic of Kenya Kwanza government, using parliamentary platforms and media engagements to challenge policies he saw as infringing on democratic accountability or economic justice. Now, constitutionality, devolution, equity, civil liberties, and government accountability, earning respect among many young urban voters and opposition circles. Within ODM, he was central to debates over whether the party should align operationally with President William Ruto's administration after Raila Odinga and Ruto signed a cooperation framework. In this intense ideological fracture, Sifuna insisted that ODM remain an independent opposition force, rejecting formal incorporation into government despite the presence of ODM appointees in UDA leadership. And from late 2025 into early 2026, divisions within ODM deepened starkly. A key fault line was disagreement over the party's stance toward cooperation with the ruling UDA government. One action aligning with party elders and cabinet ministers favored pragmatic collaboration, or at least strategic engagement with the Kenya Kwanza administration. Another faction coalescing around Sifuna and some young leaders argued for maintaining a distinct oppositional identity and positioning ODM to challenge the government directly in the upcoming 2027 elections. These debates weren't just a policy disagreements. They became questions of loyalty, discipline, and the party's future relevance. For more push against Sifuna, and multiple senior ODM figures publicly called for disciplinary action, suspension, or outright expulsion of Sifuna, accusing him of violating party protocols, undermining unity, and misrepresenting party positions. Now, warnings of potential defections and messaging about party indiscipline began circulating within internal forums and media, setting the stage for a shutdown. Now, the ouster and outie happened on 11th February 2026. The ODM National Executive Committee, NEC, resolved to remove Edwin Sifuna as Secretary General with immediate effect. The official justification centered on alleged indiscipline and leadership conduct deemed at variance with party expectations. Following the NEC resolution, Sifuna was relieved of his duties as Secretary General. Catherine Nakabi Omanyo, the Busia women representative and ODM Deputy Secretary General, was appointed acting Secretary General pending election of a substantive office order. Then decision as consistent with the ODM constitution and rule of law. Scholars and political commentators widely described the removal as the culmination of mounting internal pressure, ideological conflict, and strategic divergence over Kenya's political realignment ahead of 2027. Then we're looking at the internal fractures deepening, and the removal of Sifuna immediately amplified visible splits within ODM. Some senior party stalwarts welcomed the NEC decision is necessary to preserve unity and strategic clarity. Others, including MPs, youth leaders, and sympathetic county leaders, warned of party implosion or significant loss of grassroots energy. Even within a public discourse, analysts noted that forcing out one of the party's most articulate and popular leaders risks deepening perceptions of internal crisis and alienation among key voter blocs. And reactions across the political spectrum, voices within ODM warned that its removal could lead to disillusionment and potential mass defections, especially among Western Kenya leaders and youth supporters who saw Sifuna as a unifying and future-oriented figure. Meanwhile, social commentary suggested that the move could signal to the electorate that ODM was splitting between old guard priorities and emerging generational leadership. Potentially weakening collective electoral strategy. Public post and commentary also reflect speculative claims that the party risks becoming less national in appeal without leaders who reason widely beyond core's strong odds, and then the likely strategic consequences for ODM, that is short-term consequences, loss of public energy and momentum. Sifuna was among the most feasible faces of ODM's public communication. His departure from party machinery could leave a communication vacuum, at least in the near term. Factional realignment, where competing factions within ODM may reorganize around different visions, some more conservative and collaborative with the government, others pushing harder for independent opposition. This could shape candidate selection, messaging, and coalition talks for 2027. The risk of defections if Sifuna and his supporters feel sidelined. Some may consider defecting to new parties or coalescing around alternative platforms, fracturing the ODM voter base. Then long-term consequences are reorientation of party identity. ODM may shift towards a more establishment-aligned posture, particularly if coalition deals with UDA or other partners solidify. This could redefine its ideological identity as less oppositional electoral competitiveness. Without charismatic figures like Sifuna driving grassroots campaigns, ODM might struggle to maintain the broad appeal it enjoyed under Raila Odinga's leadership, especially in urban and youth constituencies. Delegates and leadership processes, how ODM conducts its national delegates, convention and election news. Leaders after this shake-up will be critical if the party management is perceived as circumventing fair processes. This could deepen internal dissent. Then Sifuna may benefit politically, and paradoxically, being ousted can position Sifuna for an independent political brand, stripped of a party office, but not his Senate seat. Sifuna may cultivate a personal political brand distinct from ODM. This could make him attractive to voters who feel the party has lost its way or who respect his principled stances. Then new political platforms. If a split widens, he might lead or co-found a new political movement or align with others seeking reformist politics, mobilizing youth, urban voters, and reform-oriented constituencies dissatisfied with the status quo. Then leverage in future coalitions. As 2027 approaches, political coalitions will be critical. Sifuna may leverage his profile to negotiate favorable positions within broader opposition alliances, potentially even for presidential or deputy presidential tickets in the political arithmetic. It supports it. Then conclusion of it, a turning point in Kenya politics. Edwin Sifuna's ouster from ODM is not merely an internal party reshuffle. It marks a broader transition in Kenyan political dynamics. It underscores the struggle within legacy parties, between established leadership voices, between strategic alignment within incumbents and assertive opposition identity, and between patronage-based cohesion and issue-based mobilization. For ODM, the immediate impact is instability and a test of cohesion. For Sifuna, the moment could be a crucible through which he emerges either as a redefined national leader beyond party confines or as a spokesman for a new generation's political aspirations. Either scenario will shape not only ODM's fate but Kenya's broader political trajectory ahead of the crucial 2027 elections. This man, Edwin Sifuna. Coming up next, the Midweek Report with me, Kimaiyu, Somba. Good evening once again, the 11th day of February 2026. This is Midweek Report with me, Kimaiyu, Somba. My sign language interpreter is Laura Omonti. And this is how we start off the bulletin. In Nairobi, Senator Edwin Sifuna has been removed as the Secretary General of the party following a National Executive Council meeting held in Mombasa. The meeting, chaired by party leader Dr. Oburu Oginga, stated that the decision was reached after Sifuna allegedly defied the party's official positions contrary to the ODM party constitution.
Deliberated on matters relating to the conduct of the Secretary General, Senator Edwin Sifuna, the NEC resolved to remove him from office with immediate effect in accordance with the party constitution and applicable laws. The NEC expressed grave concern over the rising levels of indiscipline within the party, particularly at the senior leadership level. The committee underscored that ODM is governed by its constitution, the rule of law, and collective decision-making through its duly constituted organs. Effectively, the Deputy Secretary General, Honorable yours truly, Catherine Omanyo, will act in this position until a substantive holder of the position.
Moving on with a liberated story, ODM party leader Dr. Oburu Oginga has slammed party Secretary General Edwin Sifuna over what he termed as continuous opposition to the party position. While chairing the National Executive Committee meeting in Mombasa, Oburu called on the NEC members to discuss the conduct of the party Secretary General, who he further accuses of undermining the existing leadership.
Very happy that when we pass resolutions here, some of the members of this committee, some of the members of the Central Committee, who are policy makers of this party, go out to say exactly the contrary of what we have agreed in committees. It is okay if other members of our party exercise democratic right to say what they like. But really it is not right for me as a party leader to go out and shout what was not agreed and what is my own personal view, and I go and say that it is my democratic right. If it is your democratic right, then there is chaos in the country. Democracy does not mean chaos. This party is a party like a club. When you join a club, you have to obey the rules of that club. You cannot disobey the rules of the club and you continue to pride yourself that I am the party leader of ODM and yet I contradict everything that ODM is saying officially. If you have anything that you agree with or you disagree with, This is a forum for you as a NEC. Raise those issues here. Let members decide. But once the members have decided, if you are in minority, the minority will have their right to say, and the majority will have their way. That is the principle.
And moving on, elders who participated in the struggle for Kenya's second liberation in the Nyanza region have called for dialogue within the ODM party. The respected elders, known for their involvement in the liberation struggle alongside church leaders, urged party leaders to immediately out the ongoing conflicts within ODM, describing the dispute as detrimental to key strategies and initiatives previously implemented by the late Raila Odinga for the benefit of and unity and democracy. Speaking together, the elders emphasized the need for in-depth discussions and reconciliation between Siaya County Governor James Orengo, Homabay County Governor Gladys Wanga, and ODM leader Oburu Oginga to restore cohesion and solidarity within the party.
We have resolved inside the church that we are going to support and stand with Dr. Oburu as the party leader of ODM.
This is what I'm appealing to all our leaders, that let us come together. The team who is opposing Dr. Oburu Oginga and the team who is together with him, let us talk together as family. And if we talk together as a family, we will have a solution. But not to go to the news and then start fighting one another. We are dividing our party, which we are not supposed to divide. We are dividing our unity in our community, which we are not supposed to do that. So I'm appealing to our leaders to come together in one accord and talk together, because when we talk, the reason God will give us a solution how we can run this country and how we can stand strong in our party.
Our veterans, which I'm also a member, we want to say and call upon those who are trying to divide ODM to come together as a family so that we can sit down and find out their differences and iron them out before 2027. A house divided will fall, but if we are united, we will stand and we will face any situation.
Luo unity must be had, and I believe that they have said they are going to talk to Orengo, they are going to talk to the chairman, our patron, Oburu Odinga. We are going to talk to each and every leader and ensure that the gains that we have, which some other people have come and have enjoyed, we must not lose it.
Still on the roll, President William Ruto has defended his government's forest strategies in northern Kenya, saying they aim to develop the region after decades of marginalization. Speaking during the disbursement of 375 million in youth funds in Garissa County under the Mpigo Wanyota initiative, President Ruto highlighted projects in health, issuance of identification cards, and investments in road and water infrastructure as a key initiative to promote development and equality in the area and across the country. However, the president's visit to northern Kenya was strongly criticized by ODM leader, then DCP Rigathi Gachagua, who said the government has neglected the region in terms of development.
Shule moja hapa Garissa inaitwa Yuga Primary, na karudi kiwanja cha ndege. Jana anasimama anasema 4.1 billion is a small money. The footprints of President Ruto's development in northern Kenya is visible as day and night the difference is.
Kwa hivyo wale watu ambao wanaongea mambo ya northern Kenya, kwanza kabisa watembee northern Kenya, tuwaone na waelewe Kenya vile iko. Wasiongee kwa press conference kwa Nairobi, wasiongee kwa retreat kwa hoteli, wakuje Garissa, Mandera, Wajia, watembee waelewe Kenya iko namna gani.
Nimesikia watu wengine wengi wanajaribu kunipatia mawaidha, sijui rais hangeenda, sijui rais angefanya kazi ingine. Wewe fanya hiyo kazi ingine, mimi nakuja kufanya ya kazi ya hawa vijana.
You joining us right now, remember you're watching the Midweek Report with me, Jeffrey Kimaiyu Somba on EBN TV. Moving on, the agency's protest will forever be etched in the nation's memory. The protest, the unrest, the lives lost, and the families left picking up the pieces to the victims' families who have been waiting are now demanding justice as compensation, arguing that court battles and investigations should not stand in the way of urgent financial support. The families held a peaceful march heading to Parliament and the Supreme Court to follow their petition outlining their grievances, including the need for the investigations on the protests.
In a nutshell, we are presenting a petition to Parliament to urge them for their support, so that being the legislators, let them also speak in unison or in unitarity towards supporting the presidential directive for compensation. We support the Professor Makau Mutua Commission, but still have a greater pain with the judicial system.
Nikashutiwa, nilibegwa watu wa familia yetu na wakanitolea 160,000 yenye mimi singe manage kutoa, nikaekwa chuma. After hapo mimi nilipona, lakini mimi siwezi enda kazi yangu kama kawaida. Yetu ndio maana nimekuja hapa kutetea haki yangu, nijue kama naweza pata haki yangu.
Nilikuwa nimetangulia mbele na mtoto amenifuata nyuma anasukuma mkokoteni. Wakati nilisonga nikasema wacha nitembee haraka, nimeona maaskari wametokea huko 56 wanaweza kunipata hapa na vile furuki iko nyuma. Sasa mimi saa ile nilitembea kusonga, nasikia mlio ya risasi. Nikaangalia nyuma hivi. Na kumbe kijana yangu alikuwa kwa mkokoteni anasukuma, aliangalia nyuma na ndio risasi ilimpika kwa mdomo. Ikatoka, alikuwa na mwenzake wakisukuma na ikachoma mwenzake hivi. Mwenye marehemu aliacha watoto wawili. Sasa hata vile ninaweza kuwapeleka kwa shule.
And Kiaru MP Ntindi Nyoro has revealed that he is ready to engage in talks with county governors to ensure a contribution of 10 million to launch a key initiative under the MP system to make secondary education completely free. Speaking at a meeting with the Kenya diaspora in London, United Kingdom, the MP proposed the formal consolidation of all bursary funds, saying that the amount would be sufficient to support all students in the country.
Are losing out and they are being locked out of our education system just because we cannot do such a thing. I believe there are many, and that is why I am just repeating, I don't want this agenda to be an election year agenda. The Kenyan budget is made in June. I want that issue to be done by that June, if not earlier, so that every Kenyan can get an opportunity to be a better workforce and to be a better provider of human capital. A student in Kenya requires around 35 shillings per day, for a meal per day. And they are in schools 185 days in a year. So we require around 6,500 shillings per year, per learner. And then we can top up something for the principals to do the other things they need to do in the schools, including employing BOM teachers.
Teachers of secondary schools in Malava constituency, Kakamega County, have expressed their concerns about the implementation of the new competency-based education curriculum. They warned that the curriculum might fail due to challenges such as inadequate infrastructure, shortage of teachers, and lack of learning materials. These concerns were raised during a meeting of teachers convened by Malava MP David Ndakwa and the constituency officers. The head teachers also noted that some schools in the area lack sufficient and lunch to support infrastructure development. In the response, the MP emphasized the importance of collaboration with the Teachers Service Commission alongside head teachers to ensure successful implementation.
Maalum hatuna walimu. Tuweze kuwa na ushirikiano fulani na hiyo technical school ili wale instructors waweze kupata nafasi kufika katika shule zetu kutusaidia kufundisha hayo masomo.
You get to a school with a population, an enrollment of 700, sitting on a 2-acre piece of land. How can we offer the sports and arts pathway. Hiyo ni changamoto. You will not therefore also expect much of the other facilities like the ICT labs, and yet the world is going digital. It has gone digital.
I will work closely with Minister of Education and TSC to advocate for adequate staffing, teachers' motivation, and the continuous professional development. You know, a motivated teacher is the backbone of quality education.
Senate Deputy Speaker Kathuri Murungi has called on governors who refuse to appear before committees to resign immediately. The Meru County Senator emphasized that it is a constitutional duty for governors to appear before the Senate Public Accounts and Investment Committee to provide explanations regarding county fund usage. Senator Murungi added that the Senate has consistently been at the forefront in advocating for increased funding allocations to counties, stressing that expectations from these leaders are high. He further stated that if any governor is found soliciting bribes from senators, it is their duty to report it immediately so that decisive action can be taken.
Wakati tunajadiliana kwa mambo ya budget, governors huwa wanafurahi sana wakati tumekaa ngumu. Tunakaa ngumu wakati kamati ya budget ya National Assembly wakiteremsha pesa, sisi tunapiga nduru na tunakataa kupitisha mpaka waongeze pesa ya counties. Sasa niwaulize swali moja. Tukiongeza pesa iende mingi kwa county, ni kwa nini msitumiwe pesa vizuri? Lakini niwaambie, hata ukijaribu namna gani, hakuna vile utaepuka kufika kwa Senate. Ukitaka usifike kwa Senate, njiuzuru mara moja, watu wako deputy governor achukue na yeye aendeleze kazi, sababu hata ukinjiuzuru hatutarudi uchaguzi. Katiba iruhusu turudi uchaguzi kwako. Deputy governor yako atachukua nafasi. Wale mmekalia sana, sababu na wajua governors mmekalia deputy wenu sana. Mpaka sasa nimetunga sheria, nimeleta sheria kwa Senate ndio iweze ninyi mpe pia deputy governors yenu kazi na muwape heshima. Kwa hivyo kama wewe unaona upasi kuuliza maswali vile unatumia pesa ya umma, unjiuzuru. Haina haja ukae katika ofisi ya umma, because lazima uwe unaajibika.
Chief Executive Officer of the Social Health Authority, SHA, Dr. Mercy Mwangangi, has revealed that the authority inherited debt of 33 billion from the National Hospital Insurance Fund, NHIF, while being questioned by the Investment Committee. Mwangangi stated that the debt is still being verified before any payments are released. Additionally, the committee chair, Caleb Amisi, raised questions regarding the transfer of 15 billion from NHIF to SHA, which the government's chief accountant had flagged as potentially unlawful.
A lot for this nation who deserve a very good health care. How can we take care of them? Lastly, Madam CEO, I come from Wajir. A lot of health facility in Wajir is closed. I don't know if you're aware. I have really followed up. I want to know today, it's good to have met you today. Who's the right person to reopen these facilities now that they are compliant and they have done everything? How do we help them? Because a lot of queries is coming to us as their members of parliament. They travel all the way from Wajir to come here with no help. How do we assist them? Thank you.
Chair, maybe you can.
Those are many issues, Mheshimiwa.
Two questions.
No,
two questions that I picked,
Mheshimiwa,
so that she can answer all of them.
An additional one.
Yeah.
Yes.
On the same.
How many?
Chair.
One or
just one.
Okay, then Mheshimiwa, one, and then we finish.
Chair, the issue of giving services. Then later on you say, yes, I've given this, come back and we talk on how we were supposed to do. On the issue of employment as my colleague has.
And moving on, elders from the Rift Valley have issued a stern warning against age-driven politics, and the UFWA Rift Valley Elders Council expressed deep concern over rising political tension in the region, cautioning that toxic political behavior could threaten the peace that communities have worked hard to build over many years. The warning comes just days after a heated verbal clash between the CP party leader Rigathi Gachagua and Nakuru Governor Susan Kihika over a visit planned by the Nakuru County Opposition Coalition later this month. Speaking in Nakuru after council meeting, the elders said that aggressive rhetoric and extreme political stances could weaken stability and cohesion in the Rift Valley. Peter Charagon, Secretary of the Council, urged leaders to exercise caution in the statements, noting that some remarks have caused fear among communities that have long lived in peace and understanding. The leaders encouraged politicians to pursue respectful politics, dialogue and unity to safeguard peace and strengthen nation cohesion.
Kenya hii ni yetu sisi wote, na tunajua vile mambo imeenda kiharibiwa na watu wale hawataki tukae na amani. Mimi nataka kusema hivi, kila mtu na kila kabila na kila mwananchi wa Kenya ajue kukitokea mambo baya hakuna mtu hataumia, kila mtu ataumia. Lakini tunasema hivi, kusosea watu na kuleta shida ya ukabila na kusema hao ndio your enemies, hao ni adui zako na halali kwako na hakuna kitu amekufanya, hiyo ni kitu ambao hata Mungu amekataa.
We believe and respect our leaders because we elect them through the ballot. But the toxic utterances have left the Rift Valley people in dismay. The people's...
That story from Western brings the midweek report to a stop. But before we go, you just need to watch what is moving on, what is just going around like a whirlwind politically. You just have to have your stand and know which direction you have to take as a Kenyan, and know who is ready to serve you as a Kenyan, as a voter, who has done it diligently, but was you've put in place and in position politically, they're not serving you back. So that is what you need to keep thinking. You need to ponder about the same and meditate upon the same. My name is Jeffrey Kimaiyu Somba, and thank you for every other team that has made this bulletin a success. My sign language interpreter is Laura Omonti, and from this team and the midweek report team, we wish you a good night. Thank you for watching.